Hello, Flosstube.
Greetings.
I'm Laura.
And Joe,
Welcome to the Slovak Farm.
this is the farm where we grow cross stitch.
One stitch at a time. Today is Monday, June 13th. Happy Monday. Let me tell y'all, either Monday is restock day at my grocery store, or my grocery store has been hit hard by some supply chain issues.
Hey, hon, or it could just be Monday.
It could just be Monday.
I mean, I actually woke up before the alarm clock. And then I got out the door with time to spare. And then there was a major accident and I wound up being 20 minutes late to work anyway.
Oh, tomorrow morning, you're probably going to want to get up and have some time to spare because of the weather tonight. We're expecting some serious storms tonight. We where we're at, may or may not get the most severe. We're not looking at tornadoes or anything, but strong straight line winds. And they're thinking they're probably going to be power outages, and most of them are hitting at like 3, 4, 5 o'clock in the morning. It's going to be great. Laura's going to be wide awake early tomorrow.
Dude.
It'll be okay.
Well, at least I got good news for my stitching bug.
It seems to have returned.
Sort of. They made an appointment.
It made an appointment.
Yeah, well, I got the full pool fully installed. Everything's good.
Up. The water is in. The chemicals have been added. I am going swimming tomorrow.
I verified the pH levels to make sure everything's cool.
I'm going swimming tomorrow. It is going to be in the upper 80s tomorrow. It is going to be in the mid to upper 90s on Wednesday. And it is going to be in the low 90s on Thursday.
And we have central air, so we don't care.
And we finally have central air.
You probably don't hear something.
I'm so excited.
I literally, and this is going to sound cheesier than Wisconsin. I love the eye roll. I am actually in a very happy place in my life now. I've got central air. I own my own home with central air, a nice fenced-in yard for my dog, a pool to go swimming in, a beautiful wife. Yes, you're beautiful. Good job, good car. I'm the type of human where literally I get everything I want. I'm good. I don't really want much more out of life. I really don't see the point. Because I've already reached the points I didn't think were possible. And geez, growing up, when I was a teenager, I never thought I'd get married.
And here you are.
Yeah, I had to move 500 miles to find somebody with compatible crazy. Yes, young ones. That is the secret to a long and happy relationship. You need to find somebody whose crazy is compatible with yours.
A successful marriage is comprised of two people. One person who is boring and one person who is absolutely crazy. Anyways. So yeah.
And sometimes we switch roles.
We are preparing for the heat wave this week.
And I actually have the AC working in my van too.
Yes.
Yeah, that was fun. Mm-hmm. But that's working. Actually, I think this year, we spent $7,000 on air conditioning between the car and the house.
Oh, yeah, we've spent a lot.
Which I'm glad I have a job where I can actually have that saved up. I'm doing good. I'm not rich, and I don't want to be. Yeah, you heard that. I didn't stutter. I don't want to be rich.
I just want to be rich enough that when a bill comes in, I can write the check to pay for it and not have to worry. Even though, yes, the bills are paid, I still have to figure out how it fits into the monthly paycheck. I want to be able to go, oh, this bill came in today? Okay, write the check. Goodbye. Instead of go, okay, this bill came in. This is the due date. This is the paycheck it falls in.
At least you're not doing the stuff what I had to do as a kid.
I understand that. No, you know.
I'm sorry. And I put out the feels for all the people who are sitting there going, okay, how am I going to balance this so I can actually pay bills and not get my utilities shut off?
When you have to figure out which utility is so far behind that it's going to get shut off, so you got to pay that one as opposed to a different one, you're poor.
The good news is that
we just broke right now because of gas prices.
Yeah. The thing is, and this is random PSA joke. If you or somebody you know is in that situation, have them talk with the utility companies. A lot of them will do a payment plan. They will work with you to get their money in a way that allows you to get service and them to get money. If they can find a happy compromise, they will.
Mm-hmm. And a lot of people who do the whole, oh, I'm not turning my gas on until November because I'm not paying for. Put your gas on a budget plan. You will pay the same amount every single year. Anyways, okay, off my soapbox.
Also, I hope the heck you are professionally trained in starting up your furnace.
Oh, well, no. Some people like to keep their heat so low until, like, November and freeze everybody in their house. I'm like, I ain't about that. Yeah. I don't think it's right. If you're going to do it, fine, but don't wear it.
Do it if you live in your house by yourself and make sure none of your pets are going to be injured.
Anyways.
Thank you for all the comments about my bug.
You guys apparently found his bug.
At least you sent it back. It texted me and said it'll be here later tonight.
Yeah. We found his
I got I'm not going to show, but I got 5 stitches in this weekend.
He did. Like that.
But I got distracted. But it's like, well, I do want to stitch now. I got myself organized. So I can go stitching. So it's like, yay.
Well, putting the pool up.
Digging the darn hole out.
You dug the hole out. We put the pool together and realized the legs stuck out a little bit farther than anticipated.
The hole grew in from the edges more than I thought it did. And I had to dig out the holes for the legs.
So we had to dig out little holes for the legs. So there was that. And then when the air conditioning got put in Friday and got turned on, my rocker chair that I like to sit in because it's got my little bendy arm lamp and magnifier that comes down wasn't over. It didn't sit over the grate, but the edge of it sat right on the edge of it. So there was a little bit overhang. Well, it was coming up. That little bit was coming up under the chair and shooting out straight to my feet. And I think I'm developing arthritis because the cold just makes me ache and want to scream and cry. And my feet hurt so bad Friday night. I was miserable. So we had to rearrange the living room Sunday. I ended up putting a blanket in front of my rocker Saturday night when I muted my light for a little bit. It still wasn't ideal. So
side benefit, now we actually are next to each other when we're sitting.
Now we're next to each other. Yeah, I can't run away from you no matter where I sit. Damn.
You can go in the dining room.
True story.
We're upstairs.
Also true story.
Or you can just look at me and tell me to go downstairs.
Go away. Kidding.
No, I don't want to. No.
We got to say a funny story. It'll be a 10-minute intro. But I have a funny story from today. Stitching day is on Monday, so I went over there. And I was sitting at the table, and it was early. But this lady walks in, and she looks right at me. And she smiles and she waves, and literally the thought that went through my head was, F. She knows me, she's here for the stitching group, and I don't know who she is. Right? Thank God she had to introduce herself to a couple people at the table because I really did not remember her name. When she introduced herself, I remembered who she was. It was a lady who introduced herself at the guild meeting, was asking me about the dyeing and the fabric. I'm like, I don't remember this woman, and apparently I'm the only person here she knows. Oh, God. I'm horrible with names, and I hate it. I absolutely hate it.
That's the one benefit we have for going to Stitchy events.
Name tags. The momentary panic I felt when I went, oh, shit, she remembers me, and I don't remember her. It is horrible.
You have almost as big of a problem as I do. I have a 1-syllable first name. You have a 2-syllable first name, and they're both really easy to remember. And I can't remember squat.
And a lot of times I'll look at somebody and I go, I'm sorry, I know who you are, but I cannot remember your name. Because that is very, very true. I will remember a person's face. I will not remember their name. The ladies from the Ladies Guild, the group that I kind of got pulled into, I don't remember half their names. I recognize them, and when I see them in church, I can recognize them, but I don't know half their names. I'm terrible. All right.
The last funny thing before
Okay.
we do that. What's really funny is I can always tell when somebody doesn't remember my name. You realize how many names start with J when they start guessing. Or when your mom's mad at me. I get called Jason so many times by her parents over the years. It is entertaining.
Oh, it's hilarious. You can tell when he has annoyed my mother because she will call him Jason and we will just die laughing. So, yes, let's shout out our commenters.
Hi!
Well, I take the lid off my water cup because it's not coming out because the ice is on one giant clump.
Sounds like a personal
I'm
problem.
going to end up wearing it before this video is over.
That really sounds like a personal problem.
Well, look, I already have.
Well, thank God you're not wearing white. We might get flagged on by YouTube.
I am so glad that I bought some new tank tops a couple weeks ago. Okay.
Okay, we got that's Angie.
That's Angie, Hibernation Stitcher Crafter, because she has dove into the world of diamond painting.
Fair Rose. Fairy. Is that fair or fairy?
Good question. Fair or fairy? I read it as fairy.
Yeah.
So.
But it might. There's no I for the E, so it might be fair. Please comment below and let us know how to pronounce your
Let me know
name.
how to pronounce it.
We are demonstration on how bad we are with names. Thank you.
Are we talking fairy like mythical creature or fair like as in medieval fair?
I was gonna go.
Okay.
I was gonna go county fair. More
Angie.
Angies. Tracy. Teresa. Wow. Yummy.
I have no idea. But apparently,
Awesome. That
it's got something to do with cooking because there was a whisk next to it.
I know, but they actually got that name with just two I's. That's pretty good. Getting a good name like that on YouTube is hard by this
There's
point.
3 Y's.
Oh,
Yes.
I didn't even notice.
Bridget.
Victoria. Hi. Mad Morty. BD Stitcher. Tamara. Janet. Juanita. And Lynn.
Yes.
Oh
yeah.
Tamara hates the community thing too.
Well, it's just, I don't need a ton of subscribers, but I just need enough that I can go, hey, guess what?
Want me to set up a Discord?
No. It's fine. It's fine. All right, why don't we move on to whips?
Okay.
Because we have stuff to talk about for that.
Yeehaw.
Whips.
I don't got 5 stitches of the whip. I really
wasn't enough. Okay. So whips.
Stitching, not sewing.
Yes.
I've been waiting to use that joke.
Queen Elizabeth week. Queen Elizabeth II week in Daily 30. Here's what I stitched on. A whip with an animal. A whip with a house. And a whip I can relate to a country in the current Commonwealth. All made stitches from Scenic Farm. Scenic Farm was because there's a house, there's sheep, and there's sheep in the Commonwealth, and it's going into winter in New Zealand and Australia, so that's what I went with. What?
I didn't know that was still part of Britain.
What?
Down there.
Yes, they're still part of the Commonwealth. Okay.
Sorry, I passed that class with a D.
Okay, so this is on the 18 count white Ada from the kit. I did 957 stitches on this. And most of it was white on white. I worked on the roof of the house. I am a lot further along than I thought I was.
I have a question for you, dear, because I know what I would do.
What?
Have you ever done white on white and realized you missed like half a stitch or a whole stitch and just said screw it and not even gone back to fix it?
I have done it with other colors and said, screw it, I'm not going back to fix it. In fact,
Not planned. Swear, not planned.
something in here-ish is off by one column. I literally just added the extra column to the roof of the house on the outside. You can't tell the difference, and it is all aligned now. And what I have left to do is just sky, so it's not going to matter if it's not completely straight. I can adjust. I think something up here in the tree leaves might be a little bit off. I can adjust the back stitching on the tree for it. So what I'm going to do is, when I pick this up, I'm going to finish the house and this sky here. The problem I have is, what's left of the sky here is it stretches all the way to the end of the whip. But I'm going to work on the sky in here so I can do this back stitching. Sorry, I'm holding this funny. I'm going to stitch in here so I can do the back stitching. And then there's like a little outbuilding and another tree here and the rest of the sky. And that's it. Like, I'm a lot farther along than I am. Oh, and there's some sheepies on the ground here.
Oh, it's chickens.
Those are sheep.
Those are sheep.
Those are sheep.
Oh,
those are sheep.
They look very different from the back.
I learned the hard way with this half to kind of do this back stitching as I go. Otherwise, I will just get bogged down with back stitching. So, I'm a little bit further along than honestly I thought I was. I do have to admit to that one. I did not think I was.
I have a question for the people down below. You see what you think of.
What?
So, do you go back and fix it, or do you fudge it and keep going? I'm a chocolate factory. I fudge it all the way.
It depends on what the mistake is and how bad the mistake is.
If it's one stitch.
Like, with that, I was able to adjust it so the house is right. The tree doesn't need to be perfect.
Like, I've actually had pieces where I've looked at it, it's like, oh, I missed one square in the confetti. Okay, what's the other colors I'm using that's going in that area? Stitch and go. So I'm just wondering, do you actually go back and put the proper color in, or if you're doing something close to there anyway, you just go up with the color you got and come back down? And if you got a funny story, love to hear it.
Yes. Okay, so stitch on. All your stitches should be in yellow or gold floss. Bonus if it is metallic. My stitches for this were not in metallic. They were, however, all in yellow. I know I said I was going to work on Belle. I changed my mind. Our guild meeting for June, we did this shading project where we talked about different shading techniques. So all of these lines, the Be Happy, the Beehives, the Medina, Ohio, all show different ways to do shading. Like this is just kind of a straight light, medium, dark. This kind of intersperses it. This uses a mix of floss. And these blue bits here are variegated floss. So all of this was like, kind of talked about in a class or whatever. And what not. We did not stay for the class of that night because Joe was having a day because of work.
Sure, yeah, work kicked my butt that day. Like, if it wasn't for the thunderstorm causing problems, I probably wouldn't have gone at all. But I'm a good husband, and I'm not going to have my wife driving her own personal version of heck.
To take that off because there's a custard on my needle minder.
Hey, honey, we're too small. And the only little one that we were worried about, I don't think she's at that age anymore.
I still do it out of respect to people who may not want to see it.
Okay.
Look, I'm not going to lie. I have a couple needle minders that have cussy words. I try to take them off out of respect for the people that may not want to see them. Might not want to see it, but they might slide through. So if they do, I'm sorry. Anyways, So I actually did this for 2 prompts. So my 300 stitches in yellow were the little beehives, and then I did another whatever stitches. I ended up doing 764 stitches on this total. I know I put it on a monthly. I just got to figure out what monthly I put it on. I just got to figure out monthly. I didn't plan on it. I didn't plan. Oh, stitch on a whip that's like none of your other whips. Well, I don't normally do bees. I actually don't have anything with bees on it. So.
Oh, there's one other way that's not like any other whip.
It's needlework.
That wasn't made by a designer.
It was it was designed by our project coordinator.
Yeah. Like that is not a commercially available product.
Vice President of Programming. I don't remember what her official title is, but she does all the.
She's awesome.
She is amazing, but you can kind of tell she's not a cross stitcher by trade. I'm not complaining. I did switch it. She gave it to us on 14 count Ada. She gave us a piece of 14 count Ada. I did switch it to 28 even weave. Just because that's more my speed, and I did cut bigger piece from bigger than what she gave us. She only gave us 1.5 inch margin around, and that's a little bit challenging for me. I don't like to do anything less than 2 inches, mainly because I stitch in hand. So when I'm stitching, I tend to take the edge and kind of crinkle it up, but I try to make sure that the back side of the piece is what's kind of crinkled in my hand and touching my hand, so I don't get like my skin oils or whatever on it. But if for some reason the edge does, the front, you know, I like to have enough edge that if a little bit of the front does get it, it's not gonna affect my finishing on it.
Also, it's also a lot easier for somebody like me who prefers a key snap.
Right.
Or frame. Like, does anybody actually like to cross stitch with no margin whatsoever like that?
Some people do it. I can't.
I can't wrap my brain around that. I can't. I always need BS room, mainly because I'm gonna mess up the alignment. She gives me 3 inches. She gives me enough fabric for a 3-inch border. I wind up with 2-2-4-4.
Right. So for Queen Elizabeth II. So then I moved on to my Sal prompt for Queen Elizabeth II week. And I did not work on Peppermint Purple. I switched it up. I wanted to start this. I need to figure out how to work this into some prompts.
You want some help?
I will. We'll get to that in a minute. I need to figure out how to work this into some prompts so that I can stitch some more on it. I started the Witchy Stitchers Supernatural Sal. Supernatural as in vampires, werewolves.
I know exactly.
Not the TV show.
I wasn't thinking the TV show. I was thinking that it sounded interesting and I wanted to see what the pattern looked like.
Well, there is no cover photo. It's a mystery Sal.
I hate those.
It's very much like Witchy Stitcher's Cryptid Sal, which I'm being told I should stitch. I'm kind of on the fence about it. The thing of it is, I do kind of get into the cryptids thing. I'm not a Halloween person, but the cryptids and vampires, werewolves, supernatural stuff, I'm there. So, I just did 305 stitches on it, and I got the start of Supernatural. There's some border that goes over here, some candles. I'd like to get this corner here done before July 1st because that's when the first creature comes out. And if you have your first creature, if you have this corner done, you'll be able to start your creatures. But I would like to get I actually would like to get the whole top done. I'm going to worry about the sides as I go to make sure everything's, because I don't like to do the whole border at once. I like to kind of make sure if I screw up, I have room to fix it. I have room to fudge it.
As I said before, right?
Right? So I would like to get the whole top done, but before the first of the month. We'll see how that goes. And then I started something else. Start all the projects weekend was this weekend, and I had planned on starting 4 things. I only started 3. Mainly because I ended up tunneling into this start, which is from the 2020 Just Cross Stitch magazine. It is Merry Christmas. This was the Merry Christmas that I was like, I'm not sure what that is on my Letters of the Month style. I pulled my own silks for use, and I ended up kind of tunneling in and working on this, and I really want to stitch on this too. I did 696 stitches on it. This worked into my monthly as my shortest whip and stitch on a whip that you can relate to the zodiac calendar. I went deep on Google for this. But there is this thing with the zodiac signs called qualities, and basically they're like 4 they're 4 they're 4 categories of characteristics, like your earth, air, water, fire, but they're different. Anyways, Cancer's quality, and Aries, by the way, its quality is called Cardinal, which represents new beginnings and the energy that goes with new beginnings. So since this was a new start, when I did that, that's what I went with. I told you I went deep. I forgot to put my needle minder back on this. So,
Dear Texas, do you see the other side of that stretch for me?
So,
Not complaining. I'm impressed. Oh, and I have some bad news for you.
what? This is stitched on 32 count heirloom. So hand dyed by the Slovak Farm heirloom. So, and technically it was supposed to be stitched on 28 count over 1. I ain't stitching over 1. So I'm stitching it on 32 over 2. The Supernatural Sal is also on heirloom. I dyed a lot of heirloom recently because there was a glitch in the matrix with my dyes, meaning some things got changed in the color I use, and I had to figure out how to make it look right. Last whip. So yesterday I pulled out my oldest whip, my oldest active whip, Cardinal Points. That was one of the monthlies. No, that was Queen Elizabeth II. Did I put this on a monthly? Did I put this on a monthly? Nope. It's not on a monthly.
Don't ask me what that is. I just did it.
Stitch on a piece. Okay, so the prompts that got released Friday were one-hit wonders. Tiffany wrote this week. My friend Tiffany wrote this week. Tiffer's World. That's her Flosstube channel. I couldn't remember what her Flosstube channel was for a second. One of the prompts was stitch on a piece with something you consider sweet. And there are grapes on that, and I think they're sweet. I think birds are sweet too, but anyways. So, and I'm working on figuring out how to make it fit some other prompts. There is a stitch on a whip of your choice. There is stitch on a whip that you do not take seriously but have fun with. I think that little bird is having fun considering he's holding the S in his beak. I'm going with that. I'm fitting this into a bunch of different prompts because I am almost finished with it.
But there's another way you don't take this one seriously.
Huh.
You have been off and on with this dang thing. You'd think it was a bad relationship or something. If this was a man and you were in a relationship, it'd literally be one of those off and on again weird A relationships.
No, I've just been dragging my feet on it because I enjoy stitching it so much.
I was trying to help. That is a very cute face, by the way.
Well, anyways. I have been dragging my feet on finishing this because I think it's so much fun to stitch. But now that I'm looking at it, but having looked at it this weekend and gone, I am so close. Like, literally, this over here repeats on this side. This over here repeats on this side. I have words to put on the bottom. And that bird. I don't know if I'm going to finish it before I get sick of it.
Bird, bird, bird.
But
bird is the word.
My desire to finish it is strong, so I'm going to stitch a bunch on it this week. So I'm currently still stitching on it. I may do alternative stitches on it for a couple of the prompts. I may figure out how to fit it into monthlies. I don't know. We shall see. We will get there. This qualifies as one of my smallest whips because I'm not going to sit here and try to figure out which one's smallest out of my ornaments. So this is probably going to get some stitches on it too. But we'll get into that with plants. That has been my stitching for the week. Let's move on to plants. We're doing our best Blue's Clues impression over here. Plans and announcements. Your plan is to stitch tonight. So one hit wonders week. This is my smallest whip. I've already done the stitches on something sweet, something you do not take seriously but have fun with. I do have fun stitching this. I enjoy stitching this. Stitching a whip you've not touched in at least 30 days. I do have several. I know that. Back here to the book of list. Back here to the list. Let's see. I haven't stitched on Merry Christmas, y'all, my boot, in a while. I haven't stitched on my Stitcher's Heart in a while. I haven't stitched on the Victorian Way in a while. I have not
Claire.
stitched on quite a few here. Cathedral Wood Goddess, Farm Fresh, Mini, Steamheart, OSU, Winter Solstice, Farmer's Market, Studding Tom. What?
I said Claire.
No, I have not stitched on that.
Because then if you stitch on Claire, I'll stitch on Evanora.
Okay.
I do need some black fabric because I seem to have misplaced the bag of black fabric that was in there.
You mean thread?
Yes. Floss.
It has probably merged into something of mine because I find random baggies of black floss everywhere.
So I'm going to need some.
I have a cone. I have a giant cone.
I know. Why do you think I'm asking? So we'll get that out and we'll get Evanora started.
Yes. And I will go back to Peppermint Purple for this week's Sal prompt. And then stitch on the whip of your choice. It'll get stitched on, this one. Am I going to get sick of this before I get all this done? I don't know.
I do have one question about the taking seriously thing.
What?
Does anybody actually take their stitch seriously?
There's lots of people who take their stitching super serious.
It's a hobby. Anything you spend that much energy on is not a hobby, it's a job.
Yeah, well. Yeah. So I think I still have 3 or 4 monthlies left to finish. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I have 4 monthlies left to finish. So we'll be working on that. So that's plans. Announcements.
Y'all are awesome.
Y'all are awesome. If you're buying fabric from me, please know all of my dyes have changed. I don't know why. I know that several of them, they changed color components in them. They're pretty good about saying they've changed components in their dyes, and some of them, they don't say they've changed the formula, but they've changed. Something in them has changed to make them a little bit different. Please know that if you contact me and order a fabric and you say you want a specific color, you may get a message back that said, well, I need to take a little bit longer. I am going to put I'm going to try to get what I have laying in a box posted on the website to be sold as solos because...
You want to know, I just had an idea.
What?
You could, like, for heirloom, you can call it heirloom-ish.
This is not exactly what my original heirloom looked like, but this is very, very close. It is a touch darker. So I'm good with that. Dirt Road, we actually were playing with adding some grays to it, and Heirloom and Dirt Road are dyed with the same fabric, or dyed with the same dye. What I would do is put the dye on the fabric, rinse out the excess, and that was Heirloom. Well, doing that, it has pulled it to a really gray color. So for this, I just mixed up half the amount of dye, and it worked. But Dirt Road now naturally has some gray tone. Gray is a grayish brown, which I prefer anyways because I don't like yellow browns. I have a yellow brown downstairs that I need to... Well, anyways, I need to list some of the misdyes. So just know that if you're going to order fabric off of me, there may be some hiccups for the next few months while I figure out what the fudge is going on. And, you know, if you're watching, oh, and the other thing is, if you're watching one of the videos and you see an old project and you're like, I like that color, no guarantees I can replicate it.
I do have one question.
What?
Would anybody ask the people when they're ordering? I just had this idea. Ask the people when they're ordering if you have an oopsie. Ask if that would be okay.
Well, I usually, send a picture to whoever is, like, if you message me and you, basically to order fabric, you have to message me and tell me what color you want, and I'll kind of send you a picture and say, is this what you're thinking of? No. Trying to do heirloom, it was completely wrong. And I was...
so it was a lot more off than I was thinking.
It was way off. It was way, way off.
Okay.
So, I actually finally have it figured out, so I need to pack up that order and get it sent out. Thankfully, it's for somebody that I know, so she's not too terribly upset. But, so...
I highly doubt she cares.
I gotta get her the fabric, though, so...
Okay.
Spiel time.
Okay, let me see. It's like, comment, subscribe, bell notification, thingy me bobby, comment, all the YouTube stuff. Wow. My brain farted. Wow. My brain just wow. My brain just had X-lax, man.
Your brain just went... Yeah.
No, my brain just went... Clink, 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 clink. I think those parts were meant to be on the inside. Uh-oh. Yeah, I'm gonna go stitch now.
I'm gonna go stitch.
And veg.
Tired.
I'm gonna stitch and veg.
Stitch and veg. All right,
That is way too much energy for vegetating. That's steaming. You're steaming the veggies right there.
Okay, well, I'm gonna be a steaming vegetable this week.
No, you're not.
Roasted.
We're in the refrigerator now.
Be in my pool.
Okay, so she's gonna be boiled vegetables.
Sweet, sweet, sweet. My nieces are coming up July 4th, and Joe goes, they know to bring their swimsuits, right? And I'm like, the one brought her swimsuit Memorial Day weekend.
The pool wasn't up yet.
I love it.
We actually found out that the back of the last page on the pool actually said if you live in an area where it gets below 32 degrees Fahrenheit, you have to take your pool down. I'm like, well, it gets to single digits around here, so we definitely gotta take this thing down.
It gets below 0 sometimes. All right. That's it for this week.
Y'all have a good day now, you hear?
Have a fabulous week. Thank you for spending a little bit of your time with us. We will see you next week.
Bye!